This story happened to me about 3 months ago. I was 15, spending the summer at Camp Willow Creek, a quiet camp nestled deep in the forests of Pennsylvania, right next to a still, murky lake. The place looked peaceful during the day, but at night, it felt like something else entirely. One evening, after lights out, me and 3 other girls in my cabin, Mia, Jenna, and Liv, stayed up whispering scary stories. Jenna brought up Bloody Mary, of course. You know the one. Stand in front of a mirror, say her name 3 times in the dark, and she's supposed to appear. At first, we all rolled our eyes. It sounded like something kids would dare each other to do at sleepovers. But then Liv smirked and dared someone to actually try it. Everyone turned to me. I hesitated. I really did. But I didn't want to be the only one backing out. You know how it is. The pressure, the teasing. So, I gave in. We snuck out of the cabin and into the camp's bathhouse across the trail. It was nearly midnight. The forest was dead quiet, except for the sound of the wind through the trees and the occasional hoot of an owl. Inside, the bathhouse was freezing. The mirrors were old and chipped, and the air smelled faintly of mildew. We stepped in, and Jenna switched off the lights. Total darkness. I could barely see the outlines of our faces in the mirror. My hands were cold and clammy. Then together we said it. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Silence. Nothing happened at first. We giggled nervously, whispering jokes. But just as Jenna reached for the door to leave, we all heard it. A tap from inside the mirror. At first I thought I imagined the sound, a single tap, like a knuckle against glass. But the look on Liv's face told me she'd heard it too. Then, there was another tap, louder this time, and this one came with something else, a faint smudge slowly forming on the mirror, like condensation from a breath, but it was shaped like a hand. Jenna whispered, "Is that someone's handprint?" No one answered. I reached for the flashlight and clicked it on. The beam flickered before holding steady, casting long shadows across the cracked tiles. I pointed it at the mirror, and that's when we saw it. The handprint was still there. Small, child-sized, fingers spread wide. But the weirdest part? It was on the inside of the mirror, not on the glass surface. Mia backed away, bumping into one of the sinks. "This isn't funny," she hissed. "Who did that?" "No one did," I whispered. Then came the third tap, loud, sharp, and so close it felt like it came from behind the mirror. That was it. Liv shoved the door open, and we all bolted out of the bathhouse like our lives depended on it. The trail back to our cabin felt longer than ever. My flashlight bounced wildly as I ran, the beam swinging between trees and shadows that looked like figures watching us. When we finally got back inside, we locked the cabin door and collapsed onto our bunks, breathing hard, trying to laugh it off. But no one was really laughing. We agreed not to tell anyone, not the counselors, not the other campers. Maybe it was just our imaginations. Maybe it was an old smudge on the mirror. But as I lay there, staring up at the wooden ceiling, I couldn't stop thinking about the handprint, and how it hadn't been there when we walked in. The next morning, we didn't talk about what happened, not even during breakfast. It was like we had all silently agreed to pretend it didn't happen, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. Later that day, during free time, I got curious. I told the girls I was going to the lake, but instead, I headed back to the bathhouse alone. The door creaked as I pushed it open. Sunlight filtered through the dirty windows, and everything looked normal. Too normal. But when I walked up to the mirror, my stomach dropped. The handprint was gone, completely, like it had never been there. But something else caught my eye. Etched faintly into the glass, as if scratched by a fingernail, was one word. My name. Katie. I stumbled back, heart pounding. That couldn't have been there last night, could it? I didn't tell the others. Not right away. I was too scared they'd think I was making it up, or worse, that I was losing it. That night, I had the worst dream. I was back in the bathhouse, but I was alone. The lights were flickering, and the mirror was completely black, like a pool of ink. And in it, I saw a face, pale, sunken, with eyes that were just empty. When I woke up, I was sweating. My heart was racing. I turned to check the time and froze. On the inside of the cabin window right next to my bed was a single handprint. I screamed so loud it woke the whole cabin. The counselors came running, the lights were turned on, and everyone crowded around. But when they looked at the window, nothing. It was gone. They told me it was just a nightmare. Maybe it was. But 2 days later, I went home. My parents picked me up early. I never told them everything, just that I wasn't feeling well. I haven't been back to Camp Willow Creek since, and I never said her name again. Not out loud.